I first saw self-storage in the States in 1981 on a rugby trip. Thought it was a great idea, came back to New Zealand and spoke to a number of people about it, and most of them said, Mark, that'll never fly. And really it was late 89, 90 before I found someone who said, this is a goer. My insurance agent was a guy called Hugh Stedman, who owned a building, and after the 87 crash it was empty, and he came to me and said, Mark, I think we, and I said, where's the we, Kamasabi? He said, I think we need to get going in self-storage in here, and he said, I think you know a bit about it. And I sold my business and joined Hugh for a 6-month sojourn to sort it out, and 30 years later I'm just retired. My first recollections of the Self-Storage Association was in 1992, where I decided to jump on a plane and go across and have a look to see what was in Australia and what was happening in Australia, and met up with a lot of guys up there, a lot of information, and really developed from there. When I joined up with Storage King and set up Storage King in New Zealand, along with David and Michael, was getting that going right through the country and becoming the largest brand and operator in New Zealand. At that stage I was operating 2 companies. One, I was the major supplier for access control systems and software to the New Zealand industry, and once I joined Storage King and we built that to become the major operator, there was some question of fairness from the industry. I looked at and said, well, it's what you call a monopoly, but could see where they were coming from. The benefits from membership from the Self-Storage Association are immense. The reality is I attended virtually every conference from the time I was working in the industry, and each time I came away with a new idea which helped us enhance the business we were running. Hey, there's just so many, from being on the board to a huge amount of Australians, to the Kiwis, and as their representative in New Zealand, I virtually knew every Kiwi operator. And if I go right back to the very beginning, guys like Hugh Stedman and Scott Palmer and Aaron Alsweiler were 3 key guys that helped me in those early days. The most interesting story I've got is when we sold up a customer, and while they were going through and inventorying the goods, one of my guys walked into my office and said, look at this, and dropped 5 million Brazilian Cruzonas on my desk. And I coughed, looked at it, not this big pile, picked up the phone, rang the bank and said, what's the cross rate between the Brazilian Cruzona to the New Zealand dollar? And the answer I got was dollar for dollar. And I put the phone down, I got up, I went for a walk, I came back, I rang the bank again and said, I want to check on the cross rate between the Brazilian Cruzona to the New Zealand dollar. And the guy said, how old are they? And I said, I might guess about 10 years old. He said, they're worthless. He said, that they've gone. He said, inflation would have taken over. So for a very short period of time, I had $5 million sitting in my hand. That money now sits on my safe at home. Hopefully, if I ever get robbed, somebody will steal it and think they've got a good deal.